this session, we will review scheduling. Scheduling is a built-in appointment page that we have within Club Systems, in which you're able to click on user schedules and create and check in appointments for your different employees. There is some setup that's involved with utilizing scheduling, such as which employees you would like to appear on the scheduling page, which appointment types you would like to have that can be set, as well as which time slots you would like to have available on this appointment page. Clicking on Setup and focusing on the icon that's labeled Scheduling under Setup, there are a few sections here that would need to be set and in place before you can use the scheduling appointment page. The first section is labeled Appointment Types. This is where you would create your different appointment types that would appear on that scheduling page. To create these appointment types, we would start by clicking on New Appointment Type. In the first field labeled Appointment Type is where you would type in your first appointment type. The color drop-down menu is allowing you to give this appointment type a color coding, and this will become a visual aid for you for when you look at the appointment page as a whole. You'll be able to see certain appointments in certain colors and know what those are for. Once you've made your first entry, click Save, and that will become an appointment type on your appointment menu. You would continue doing so until the types you would like to input at this time are entered. You can always come back into the section and add in additional appointment types. You can modify your appointment types by selecting the one that you would like to modify and then click Modify Appointment Type. You can update or change the information that's here. Just make sure to click Save when you are done. And you do have the option as well as deleting an appointment type out if it's something that you would like removed completely from your type menu, and have it be removed from the scheduling page as well. Scrolling down, our second section is called Rooms. In addition to creating user schedules for employees, you also have the ability of creating a room schedule if your facility does have rooms or space that you allow people to reserve or book for special events. If you do have such spaces, you would come into this area, click where it says New Room to input the first room or space's name, and then hit Save. Continue to do so until all of the room names are inputted, and then you of course have the option of coming into this area and clicking on a specific room name and clicking Delete Room to remove it from your list of options. This will create a secondary appointment page for these rooms and spaces in which appointments can be made. The last section that we'll review in this area is called Set Calendar Hours. This will determine the time slots that are showing on the appointment page from the earliest time that you would like to appear to the latest time that you would like to appear, and then click Save, and then those are the time slots that will show on your appointment page. There's also some setup that would be involved under the User section. Clicking on Users and selecting a particular employee's name, you would click Modify User. There are a couple of permissions under the Permissions section that would have to be set to Yes to determine if this particular employee is going to show up on that appointment page. The permission that says Available for Appointments would need to be set to Yes if this employee in particular should show up on that appointment page, or set to No if they are not one of the employees that need to be on that appointment page. Available for personal training would also need to be set to Yes if we would like their name to appear on that appointment page, or No if they are to be exempt from that particular appointment page. Once those permissions have been set, you can click Save at the bottom. In addition to setting the permissions to make their name appear on that appointment page, you would also have to go in and adjust their user schedule. Again, clicking on the employee's name and then clicking on User Schedule. Here you are able to specify the times that this particular employee will be working. By creating blocks of time for their schedule, anything that is left in between, such as breaks or lunch hours, will be grayed out on the appointment page, and therefore your employees will not be able to make appointments for those times that the employee is not scheduled to be working. So coming into user schedules, you would just set the date range accordingly, whether it's for a particular day or for a particular work week. Then you would go into the day and put the start time as to when they're coming in the morning, and the stop time as to when they're going to leave before lunch, and then save that at the bottom as the first block of time. And then you would go back into that same day and put the start time as when they come back from lunch and the stop time as to when they're leaving for the day, and click Save, creating a second block of time. And anything left in between for a lunch hour or for any time period that they're not going to be at the facility, those times again will be grayed out on the scheduling page, and we will not be able to make an appointment for those areas that are grayed out on the scheduling page. Opening scheduling on the main screen now and focusing on user schedules. As we open this appointment page, you will notice that it's automatically defaulted for today's date. If you would like to navigate to future dates or past dates, you can utilize the two navigational arrows that you see at the top right-hand corner of your screen. The front-facing arrow is labeled Next Day, where you can click on that and see how it changes the date at the top of the calendar, taking you to that next day's scheduling page. If you need to revert back or look at a day in the past, use the icon that's directly next to it that's called Previous Day, and it would just take you backwards on the calendar. If you're needing to make an appointment that's for far in the future, whether it be next month, next week, you can utilize our calendar icons that we have on either side of the screen at the top. So the first icon that's labeled Calendar, if we click on that, it will bring up the calendar where you can navigate through the months to set a future appointment that may be far out. So once you've arrived on the month that you would like to make the appointment for, you would simply just go down to the date that you would like to set the appointment for and click on that date. And we'll notice how at the top it's brought us to that particular day's appointment page, in which case you'd be able to go under your employees column and make the necessary appointment. Once we are done with making that appointment for that future date, if we would like to come back to today's scheduling page, then you can utilize the calendar icon that's toward the top right that's labeled Today. Clicking on that icon, we see how that just brings us back to today's date on the particular appointment page. All of your employees that have been set to appear on this appointment page will have their own column. We do see how some spaces are grayed out, and that's just indicating that per their schedule they are not working. And we also see that if we try to click in these spaces with our mouse, nothing happens. So we will not be able to make appointments for someone if they're not scheduled to be working during that time. So going under the particular employee's name that we would like to make the appointment for, you simply go into their column and scroll down using your time slots that are located on the left side of your screen. Scroll down to the time slot that you would like to make the appointment for and click in that space with your mouse. At this time, we see that the appointment page has been brought up for us where we can set the appointment for this particular employee. So starting at the top where it says appointment name, feel free to give this particular appointment some sort of a name or title. If we skip this portion and just go ahead and save the appointment, it will simply just be listed as new event on the appointment page. So if you would like to go ahead and title this as the person who's booking the appointment, the actual member, feel free to do that. You are going to be able to notate who the member is here again under the member field, but it is a good idea to put it as the appointment name as well, so that is showing on the forefront of the appointment page. So once we select the member, we'll notice that the employee name is already filled in for us, and that's based under whose column that we went under, so that's already filled into that space for us. Next, we have appointment type. So clicking on the drop down, we can select the appointment type that this is for and make that selection. Had this been for a particular service, whether it be like massage or tanning or something to that effect, you would be able to click from your service names if that was applicable. Room is the next drop-down menu, and that's if this particular appointment was going to take place in one of your special rooms that you created, as we just reviewed under the scheduling setup. If none of these are applicable, feel free to skip over those fields, and then we come down to where we can input any note in the note section that we would like to have on this person's appointment. There is a checkbox beneath notes that's labeled confirmed. If you check the confirmed box, that simply means that this person would be sent an email confirmation for the appointment that they've set. The member would receive an email confirmation if they have an email address on their account. Beneath confirm, there's the option to repeat the event. If we are wanting to duplicate or repeat this appointment for, say, next week or next month, depending on what the member is asking for, you do have the option for making this a reoccurring appointment. So looking over to the right of this option, we see a button that's currently set to disabled. If we click on that disabled icon, it now says enabled, and it brings down the options that you have for repeating this event. Whether it's repeating it daily, weekly, monthly, you can repeat the event, and that just is for convenience, so you're not having to go into those individual dates and set individual appointments. It's allowing you to do that from this one area. Beneath repeat event is the time period, where we can definitely set an end time. The start time is based on the time slot that we selected, and we would simply notate how long this appointment is going to go for and set the time accordingly there. Once we filled in the details for this member's appointment for this employee, we would go ahead and click Save at the bottom. So once the appointment is saved on the particular appointment screen, we'll notice that it's showing up here under the employees column. It's color coded for the appointment type that it is, and this is how your appointments will appear on your appointment page. To click on the appointment, once it's been set, we do have some modification options at the bottom of this appointment screen. Had this been for some sort of a training session and we were wanting to redeem that in and take a session away from the person's count, we could treat that as a series check-in, and we have that listed down here below, series check-in. If this were some sort of a different appointment, whether it was like for a consultation or a tour of some sort, and you're simply just wanting to notate that the person showed up for their appointment, you could notate it as appointment show, as we see here. You also have the option of notating it as a no-show, and when you select no-show, it will give you the option of charging the customer some sort of a no-show fee if that is something that you do charge your members if they, say, do not show up for a personal training appointment or something to that effect. If they are penalized somehow, you can certainly specify that here. Otherwise, if you're not specifying any dollar amounts, it will simply just be notated as a no-show for the appointment. Modify account is another area that we have at the bottom of the appointment screen, and this is a shortcut to the modify account area for this member if you are indeed needing to modify their account in some way, shape, or form. You do have an option to email this particular member. By clicking on this, it will bring up an email text box where you can type out the email and send it directly to the customer if you wish to do so. There is an icon here for SMS text messaging. This would be available to you if you are signed up for the text messaging through Club Systems, and you can feel free to contact our customer service for more information if you are interested in that feature. Print appointments would allow you to print off a listing of appointments that this member currently has in place. If they're requesting to see what they've booked or what appointments they have coming up in the future, you would be able to print those here. Workout is a shortcut to their workout area. Each member does have a workout tab on their account where if they are on some special program or working with a trainer and their workout results are needing to be recorded, you can click on workout to take you to that area to be able to record this member's particular results. Point of sale is also available to you from here. This is a shortcut to the point of sale screen, where if a member is checking in for, say, a session or a service that they do not have on their account and we're needing to charge them for it at this time before they can be checked in, you would be able to access point of sale to ring them up for that at this time. And then finally, you do have your delete option. If the member has called in to cancel and we're just simply wanting to delete and remove it from this appointment page altogether, you can delete the appointment off the screen. There are other shortcuts to this particular appointment page. For example, if you want to click on the employee's name itself at the top of the column, it will just kind of zero in on that one employee's appointments and show what they've got on their appointment page kind of for the week, as we see here. So it kind of just zeroes in on that one employee. If I want to revert back to my main screen that shows all my employees going to the top, I'm going to click on this icon that looks like a group of people, which is labeled user schedules, just to bring me back to my main page. Here we do have a print option as well if we would like to print off this page for whatever reason, kind of as an overview. You have your month tab up here at the top, which will kind of just change the calendar a little bit and show you what the month looks like as a whole on the calendar screen. You have agenda, which is, again, just another way to view the information in a more condensed version. To take a look at the reports that you can run based off your appointments, we will just take a brief look at where to locate those. And that is found under your Wizards icon. Clicking on Wizards, going into our main reports wizard. As we notice, our reports are broken up into specific sections as to what type of reports you can find in each area. And as we scroll down this list, we will focus on the section that's called Appointment Reports. So this is where all of the different reports that you can run based off of appointments will be showing for you. That concludes our review on scheduling. Thank you so much.